Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about visual hierarchy and how you create visual hierarchy and visual appeal in your resume. I am not telling you that you have to use any specific format, but I do have some very important guidelines for you. So visual hierarchy tells us that where we look first really should be governed by the design of the document. So in this case, obviously where we're looking first is the name of the person whose resume this is. Obviously, it's not a real person, but so in visual hierarchy, what we say is that whatever has the biggest text, whatever stands out the most, is the most important item. And obviously, on the resume, that is going to be your name. So your name should be the biggest visual element. It should be at least one, but I would even say two or even more points bigger than your biggest subhead. So that will draw our attention there first. Then from there, you can see we flow down here. We're looking at the red subheads. They're all in the same style. These subheads over here are a different color, but we understand that this is the pattern for this here. I think that the color is very nice here, adds a nice touch. What you have to remember is that you want to really sort of create like each section stands out but has a consistent formatting. So the subhead will be in one color, then and one size, and it should be at least 1 point bigger than your regular text, which I don't think should be any smaller than 10, or I mean 11. I think that 10 is way too small. I don't think the object is to squish as much as you can onto a resume, and I think there really are times when 2 pages is really fine. And here's the thing, the application tracking systems don't really count. They're not going to say, oh, this is 3 pages, I'm not going to read this. So why not do 2 pages? If you make it through, they're going to read your resume, and if it looks nice, they're not going to care that it's on 2 pages. That's my opinion. So with the popularity of this style, which I think it looks good. I think it looks nice. I think some of them go overboard here on Canva. Like I would never do anything like this. To me is a little too dark. This is a little too, like some of these just have a little too much going on. But I would never put my picture. I actually really like this, except for the fact that you're really giving so much space to this top part of your resume. You definitely do not want to use text boxes. It's okay to have like a color, but you don't want text boxes because they are not read by ATS systems. So you don't want to be doing that. I would never put a photograph or illustration. I would never do anything like this. I think it's just a little too much, even for like more creative comm majors. I think doing something like creating a heading with color like this and then using color for your subheads is perfectly fine. I think you can even just sort of recreate this in a Word document if you want. The key is having consistent headings, right? So your heading of your name is the biggest element on the page. And then your professional experience and education, those headings are the second biggest. Then your actual titles are in bold within each category. And this creates the visual hierarchy, and the color and the contrast helps create the visual appeal. But the white space is really, really, really important too. Let's look at another really popular format that people like to use from Canva. And again, you do not have to do this, but one of the things I do like about this with the visual hierarchy is here. I mean, I think that this is fine. I don't really think this adds all that much, but people seem to like it. But again, your name is the biggest, and then each section has its own, title within in the typographic furniture with the color and the shape. So I think that this looks good. However, I have never seen anybody create it with this much white space. Again, you need to go on to 2 pages if you're going to use a design like this. And you could take this and totally tailor it. Like you could get rid of this and move this up. You could have your awards and skills over here. So there's a lot that you can do. But let's look at some of these. There's tons of resume templates online. My issue here with these, I mean, I think that they have some good styles in terms of using color, which can be good. However, I think that some of these are just way too, like, to me, this is just so crowded and very hard to read. I actually do have, this was a real resume. It's actually my cousin, so I took out her name. But Katie sent me this resume, and it just doesn't have any, like, she's got the bold, but that's all really for the visual hierarchy and the lines. So I think like making this bigger, her name is the most important thing, right? So that should be bigger than these, and this should be bigger than all this text. So this should be 16, this should be like 14, and this should be like 11 or 12. And then color would really help a lot here. I really worked on this resume with her, and we really improved it. We fixed her hierarchy. We added a professional summary. And as soon as we did that, and as soon as we had professional experience and work experience, like I talked about in the first video, she was getting no traction. And then suddenly, just making those fixes to her resume, she got the next one she applied for, she got the interview and ended up getting the job. So never underestimate the power of a good-looking resume. So that is some of my advice for